Now to some of the big legal cases we are following in this week's Burden of Proof. Civil rights attorney Areva Martin joins me to break some of these down. Areva, good to see you. Thanks for being here on this weekend. Hip-hop mogul Jay-Z facing a rape allegation. Sean Carter, his real name, is doubling down against his accuser, saying she's looking for money and fame, releasing a new statement overnight calling for the claims to be actually dismissed. What are you watching for in this case?
Well, Sean Carter, Jay-Z has good reason to ask for this case to be dismissed. The accuser came out and did an interview. Now, we didn't get to see her face. We didn't get to learn her name. But in the interview, she gave some statements that were inconsistent with the statements that, or the accusations, I should say, that are made in her lawsuit. And it does raise serious questions about the credibility of this accuser. One of the things that stood out to me, Phil, was her father. Her father was also contacted by the news media because in her interview, she says her dad picked her up from Sean Diddy Combs' home after the rape, she said, that occurred after, she said, Jay-Z and Sean Combs raped her. Her dad said he had no recollection of this incident. And clearly a dad, as he said, would remember something this serious, this egregious. So I think there are some serious questions that need to be answered. And the way you get those questions answered when you are a defendant in a lawsuit is by filing the kind of motion that I anticipate we'll see filed by Jay-Z's law firm, because there are questions about the credibility of this accuser.
Fair enough. So let's go over to Sean Diddy Combs. He's facing some new rape allegations from 3 more men. According to new civil lawsuits, the men say Diddy sexually assaulted them between 2019 and 2022. So these are more recent claims. Diddy's attorney says the allegations are false. The men's attorney says he was contacted by more than 60 people, but only chose to file these 3 cases so far because he vetted them. I'm wondering if you think we could see more lawsuits of this kind.
Well, absolutely. We know a Houston attorney has said he plans to file over 100 lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. He says hundreds of people have come to his office, have contacted his office about rape or sexual assault allegations involving Sean Combs. One thing I think is important, Phil, many of these claims happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, like the case of Jay-Z. And we know, statistically, women in particular don't typically lie about being raped or sexually assaulted. So I don't want to suggest that the accuser in Jay-Z's case is lying about her claim, but these claims can be very difficult, particularly when they happened so many years ago. Memories fade, information about the claims becomes difficult to ascertain. But in the case of these 3 men that have just filed civil complaints against Sean Combs, these are allegations that are between 2019 and 2022. So they are more recent claims, and they have, again, some very specific allegations in their complaints. Obviously, this may lead to further criminal investigation by prosecutors, and we could see, if these claims are valid or prosecutors believe they are valid, we could see superseding indictments filed against Sean Combs based on these 3 rape allegations. But again, at this point, there are allegations. Nothing's been proven in a court of law, but they are very serious and could lead to additional felony charges.
Moving now to country star Morgan Wallen, pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges of reckless endangerment for throwing a chair off the roof of a bar, nearly hitting 2 police officers. He was sentenced to 7 days in a DUI education center and 2 years probation. So first, what are DUI education centers? And then how common is it for people to receive that type of sentence?
Pretty common. Particularly, it appears that this country singer may have an issue with alcohol or maybe substance abuse, and these kind of diversionary programs are appropriate when someone has engaged in this kind of conduct. Nothing, no violence created, no one injured by him throwing the chair off of the roof of this bar. So I think this was the appropriate plea for him, and I think the punishment fits the crime.
All right. Civil rights attorney Areva Martin. Areva, thanks so much. Always good to see you.
Thanks, Phil. My pleasure.